So in comparison to your first feature, which was quite a bit more more scripted. This was a lot more of a constrained production, and I guess maybe in terms of what you had to deal with budget-wise and actors and things. Maybe you could talk about why, first of all, why you chose to to do it this way or this experiment.
So thanks for staying. Actually, yes, it was very different from my first feature. The starting point in this case wasn't that personal. Actually, it was an invitation. So after my first feature film, I was planning to make my second feature film, that is another one. And after a screening of Thursday till Sunday in a festival in France, the lead actor, Lisandro, approached me, and he really likes my film, and I really like his work in another film that he was playing. And he will say, why don't we make something together? But in a very open way, like, well, let's do something. Well, and he's doing a lot of theater also, and I was just making a short film, so it was like, let's make something without any expectation. So this film was, since this encounter until we were shooting, there were just 2 months. So I come back to Chile and I ask my friends who usually work with me, will you be able to come to Argentina for a week to make this experiment with these actors? So Lisandro had these real holidays with his girlfriend, which is Vanina, the girlfriend. And he told me, I had these notes of a real holiday that we made together. Why don't you direct us as a couple? So it was a very simple starting point. And then I was like, yes, why not? I really like to react to these things that comes to me, not waiting just to make like big projects.
And so you kind of set up scenarios and then had a kind of combination of a script and then sort of spontaneous.
Yeah, to be honest, my friends were able to go, and the actors were really happy to be part of this. And we had this place where we were shooting. The owner is an actress, so she said, you can stay and shoot in this place for a week. And 1 week before going to Argentina, everything was there, less than the script. So in a week, with a friend, we make like a structure of 10 pages with this shifting anecdote. And it's why I think it's a very collective film, because it's something that happened there. Yeah.
Can you talk about the actress who plays the mother, who seems like a real sort of actor kind of person? She's really brilliant and really like captivating, really kind of a scene stealer. Maybe you could speak about how you came across her.
She's great. She just made 1 film before this, so I was really like enthusiastic about working with her. I was in a jury of another festival where the film she was playing won, so we met there. She was happy to collaborate, and I think she's like the first lightning in the film. It's like it was also the idea. This couple is kind of in this deadlock of the couple, and suddenly the mother breaks this rhythm, and she was the same in the shooting. We were kind of in I don't know how to say it, in this quotidian time, and suddenly she arrives in the middle of the shooting, bringing some nice things to eat and with a lot of energy. And it was very interesting how we worked together, because even if it's not a personal starting point, there were some things that I wanted to arrive in each scene, particular with her. So we were like, there was a lot of improvisation, but about silence, or a lot of improvisation about, I don't know, it was my first time of doing this, so each scene has a lot of different techniques to arrive on, but she was very generous, and I think she's a great actress.
I was curious also in terms of, especially given the budgetary constraints, the coloring of the film and the lighting is really interesting. It's like it it never gets quite sunny. It's like it's blue, like it sort of suggests blue, but it's always a little bit kind of washed out. And I was wondering if that's, working, this is your cinematographer or...
Yeah, so we had this little camera like an iPhone and just one length. So with this we were trying to explore a little bit in a very simple way. And I really liked I never been in this place before, and when I arrived, I felt it was kind of timeless, and there was something very particular in the weather also, like very shifting and wet and kind of with weight, So I wanted to relate this with the character, trying to portray something. Is why it's Mar and Mar, like as the character, because I was, even if it was super simple anecdote, I was trying to go deeper, I hope, or trying to capture something alive of him and his like interior turmoil or something.
Yeah, and it's funny, and also for like in the English, like to mar something is sort of to sort of mess it up too, which is like immediately worked for me as well in the bilingual. So we'll take some questions from the audience to start. Yes. We're starting to collaborate because there are some fundings that we can get from Argentina or from Chile. But in this case, it's funny because people says it's an official co-production, but actually we were like 6 in the crew, half Argentinian, half Chilean, and it was more like a group of friends. But I was living in Argentina for some months, and we really like this new group of friends collaborating. But there are also some rivalities between Argentina and Chile, and I think in this case it was nice to feel we were all kind of, I don't know, for me the cinema has nothing to do with nationalism in a way, and this was the first experience to me to shoot abroad, and I confirm that I'm looking for something that doesn't have anything to do with territories or time, actually. It's just like trying to portray some relationships or it's like for me this film is kind of a study of randomness, to just observing these people in these holidays that doesn't really, holidays is supposed to be like a relaxed time or like a place where you can forget your routine or your crisis. And it's funny because in my first feature film it happened something similar, no? It's like these people trying to escape from the city, and suddenly they are confronted with themselves. So there's no way to escape because the crisis is there, no? Yeah, in the middle there. For production?
For production. So this is an original song from the film. Is the brother of the main character has a group, a band, so he make it for the film. And we wanted to add this kind of explosion that had to do with the car at the end, I mean. And there is another music in the party, which is a Chilean band that is kind of popular, mixing like some modern and popular things that we like. I didn't want to add too much songs. Usually like to add popular things, to change of I don't know how to say, sorry, to kind of replace popular music, to put it in another context. So we wanted to work a lot the ambience and for example the underwater feeling. So just using little amount of music. And in terms of production, Chile is a smaller industry than Argentina. We make around 30 films per year. In Argentina, maybe 300. I'm not sure, 200. in this case, it was really like out of the system. Not because we were not support, because we didn't apply. It was like in 2 months you cannot like really apply to anything. So I think what I like in this case is that with money, maybe you cannot make a film like this because it was a film without any expectation. We start like, let's go to make a film with the basic, you know, a camera, a sound, a little group, and let's see what happens. And if it's 30 minutes, it's okay. If it's 40 minutes, it's okay. So I'm happy that it can be also programmed here because it's 60 minutes. It's like, it's a film that is, we didn't know even if it's going to be a film. So it's also a surprise to be, that it's a film and this is programmed here.
In the back.
What was the end?
What's your question?
So, I'm very curious about like mother and son and like relationships in general, and I like how shifting can be the roles as well. So in this case, is this guy that is kind of an adult or young adult jumping into to be an adult, and he don't know if he wanted to have kids or be a kid or like. So we were playing in these borders, you know. So I think the film portrayed this distance of this couple, and suddenly the mother gives like another perspective and kind of explain what are the deep problems of this guy or why. And I think that at the end, he makes is the first action that he makes, and he kind of helped the mother burning the car. So it's like for me, it's like a step to get like bigger, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like working with kids. In my first film, the two main characters are kids. And I think it has to do a little bit with the other question because it's this kid that seems to be older than the character, no? So it was, I also wanted to add a kid in order to make like a contrapunto, like a contrast with him, and also with this idea to be father or son. He's almost like a competition for him. And so when I work with kids and also sometimes with actors or non-actors, I wanted for them to be like reacting and not acting. So they're just playing, and I will do some games in the scene, like saying something, because I don't think they can be really acting. I prefer to get something alive and more genuine from them. And he was amazing. So there were some ideas of the scene, but then he was really obsessed with death. So he would tell me like, oh, my grandmother just dead, and she will become like tierra, earth. But the good thing is she's not hungry anymore, and I was like, and we were talking about this a lot. So then I incorporate this. Also because I think even though the film was not scripted, we were working a lot in the editing, like trying to make it have some sense, because there was a lot of things that happened during the shooting, as the lighting. So the 6th day of shooting, this lighting happens, and was a big thing for us. So we were thinking what to do. So the fiction lose a lot of sense. You know, you're doing a film, a very tiny film, you don't know even why are you doing this, and suddenly there is a lighting that kills 3 people in the same beach you were shooting 2 days before. So it was a big issue for the film. So we say like, okay, let's keep shooting very respectfully, and let's try to add this to the film, because I think it gives like another dimension. Because all these little emotional situation they are crossing, suddenly there is not a resolution of this, but there is like another perspective, no? Like how small is all this when you are confronted with the fragility of life and when you can see how close is death. How old is he? He was 4. He's 6 now, and he just made another film directed by his father. He's the lifeguard.
I know that you have a new short coming out, it's debuting in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
Maybe you could talk about that, and also I think you have another feature project in the works as well.
Yeah. So
Maybe does it continue with with work like this? Is it totally different? Where are you going next?
So I had a new short. It's called Los Barcos, the boats, and my mother is playing on it. So she's the main character. It was shot in Lisbon. So I think it's nice because after my first feature film, I was trying to finance my second one, and it has been very hard because it's a big project. And in the middle, I received 3 very nice invitations. One was this one. The other one was The Island, that it was also shown here in New Directors in Film, a short film of 30 minutes. And the third one was the Lisbon feature film. It's a collective film called Aquí en Lisboa, or Here in Lisbon. So we were 4 directors directing each a short film of 20 minutes. And now I hope to shoot the one that I've been developed for a long time. It's called Late to Die Young. And I think it's in the line of my first feature film, but I'm also keeping some things of this film that has to do with putting the eyes like, not in the script, more like in incorporate something alive. I'm more into trying to portray real emotions or letting the film open to what is there. It's something that really changed me, like doing these little projects in the middle.
Will you work with any of the same actors from your first film, or?
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
Are there any more questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.